Hey guys, and welcome to episode 1 of my F1 2017 Sauber Career Mode Season 2 now, which we're going to make with Williams. Today is going to be our debut with Williams F1 Racing. As you guys maybe saw last episode, we finished off our career mode with Sauber. And there was a couple of teams who tried to give us a race seat, but we decided to go with Williams. And now it's going to be the first practice session with Williams.
What is sure to be an interesting practice session here in Melbourne. It's not long until we get the session underway, and we'll have some cars appearing out on the track. Anthony Davidson is here as usual to help take us through the action. And I've seen some questions on social media and other places about this current crop of F1 cars and why they're so much faster now, despite being significantly heavier than the previous generations of machines. Take us through that one.
I'd be happy to, Crofty. And simply put, it's a matter of grip. Now, that comes from two sources. You have what we call mechanical grip, which comes from the surface of the tyres sticking to the road. And these tyres are significantly wider now when compared to previous years, so they have the potential for more mechanical grip. Then you have the downforce, of course, which pushes the car into the road as the air moves over it, thus generating grip. And these cars have about 20% more downforce, which is more than enough to overcome the added weight.
So as you guys might saw there, I did change a little bit my helmet. I changed the gold to white to be a little bit more like the Williams logo. It really isn't that much of a difference, but yeah, it's good to change your helmet once in a while. And I did not want to lose the style of my helmet, which was really nice. Obviously we have a new engine unit now, and well, everything is pretty good for now. I did see that the Williams was very good with fuel compared to the Sauber, which was horrible. In standard you actually gain fuel, while in the Sauber you actually lose a lot when you're in standard. But practice went pretty good. We got most of it green, most of it purple actually, and things were looking good for the first qualifying session.
And as we wait, poised for the start of what will hopefully be a thrilling qualifying, why don't you tell us, Anthony Davidson, about the things you can do to really get the most out of a car in a session like this?
Well, you're largely limited by the Parc Fermé regulations, of course. Back in the old days, pre-2004, you'd work on both a qualifying setup and a race setup over practice, and then swap them over after qualifying. So the race car was quite different at times to the qualifying car. Nowadays, though, you have to find a compromise that works for both. There are a few things that you can still adjust during the session, such as the differential, the brake bias, and the front wing angle, but that's about it. So it's more about optimizing what you do have and adapting your own style to suit the track conditions.
Okay, you should be able to get into the next qualifying session easily, so try to get a hot lap in early so we can save the tyres.
So the team now are expecting me to get through this session pretty easily, and that's what I think too. But they want us to finish P7 or higher, and look at the conditions. Actually, when the session started, the rain started to come down. So the back markers who went out extremely early are actually gaining now, because it actually went a few minutes later, and it's really raining now. And if we make our first lap, it's going to be P12, bottom of the grid. But as the rain continues on now, lots of people are going to intermediates, so I think we're going to finish the first qualifying session in P12 and easily going through Q2. So as you can see, lots of runners on the intermediates, and it is 12th. Daniel Kvyat, Sergio Perez and Kevin Magnussen in the top 3. Incredible. I think that they were the first 3 who went out, so they really gained a lot from going out early. But moving on now to Q2. This is my first run, getting a bit loose on the last corner, but we crossed Lango P2 in front of our teammate Felipe Massa. But now, continuing on in this session, we can see on board with our teammate. He's doing his lap. He's currently in P6, I think. No, he's P9, and he crosses the line, doesn't improve, actually goes way slower than his fastest. And as we end the session, it's going to be P4 for me, easily getting through, and the Felipe with P9, so things are looking amazing for Williams. 2 cars into Q3. My aim for this season is to beat the Red Bulls and get a couple of podiums, maybe even wins. But we all know how the race pace is for the AI. But as we continue now, this is our Q3 run, our best Q3 run. So I'm going to leave this lap, and you can hear the game says as well, just for this lap. Enjoy. As we come now into the last corner, pretty good exit. A few minutes remaining in the session, up into 8th gear. It's going to be P5. And the session ended, we went down to P7, but we achieved the team's goals. That was incredible. The car felt incredible. It's a little bit understeery, but compared to the Sauber, it's incredible. The engine definitely feels much better, but yeah, we'll see how we do in the race now.
As the drivers complete their preparations, down below us on the grid, one man who's no stranger to the pre-race pressure is Anthony Davidson, who joins me in the commentary box today. Great to have you with us, Ant. I'm sure you can tell us all about what goes through a driver's head before lights out.
Well, from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the run down into turn 1. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course, you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you, so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. Sebastian Vettel will start on pole. Fantastic qualifying from the multiple world champion. And Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Raikkonen, Bottas, Max Verstappen and Ricciardo, Williams, Grosjean, Massa and Sergio Perez, Magnussen, Sainz, Daniel Kvyat and Wehrlein, Van Dorn, Hülkenberg, Esteban Ocon and Jolyon Palmer, Alonso and Marcus Ericsson rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
to the first corner, so try to keep it tidy.
So here we go, first race with Williams, starting P7 on the grid, 15 laps, 25% race at set go. Bidding on lap 6 with the strategy. It seemed like it would gain me the most time, and I decided to put 1 lap of fuel, like I usually do with Sauber, but with this car it just usually does not burn a lot through the race. But 5 lights now, and this lights it away. We go a big wait there before the lights went out, but we gain a place on Ricardo there, but he dives down the inside. We lose it once again, and we stay in P7 for now. On the attack now with Ricardo, we might go round his outside. He pushes us a bit off on the grass, but we're gonna have the outside there. Someone went wide in front of us, I think it was a Ferrari, who probably got pushed wide. But continuing on now, we can see Perez is making trying to gain on us, but continuing on now, that was contact with Ricardo, and we lose 2 positions just from that, down to P9, and we're in front of Grosjean now. He's gonna hold us up a bit, so let's hope we pass him down, but too wide into that corner. I thought he was gonna give up. Not in a million years they would give up. So the AI very improved, I think. Maybe from a patch, they are definitely improved a lot, especially from that example. Too wide inside corner, he knew he had the inside for the next turn, and he took that. But continuing on now with lap 2, we dive it down the inside of Grosjean, and with Slipstream, it was a pretty easy move. But continuing on now, we're behind Ocon, who is getting held up. I think that's Ricardo, but we dive it down the inside. Very rash move from us, and it's going to be too wide side by side into last corner. We slid a bit there with touch, and we lose another position to Grosjean once again, and gonna have to use the slipstream. We're gonna have the outside for this corner. We're gonna go a bit wide, but almost lose the car there, but he's still side by side. We're gonna have the arrest now, so does he, strangely, but as you can see behind the signs is also trying to get into the action, but we managed to get him fairly easily. Continuing on now to lap 5, someone has retired from the race because there's a lot of flags. Kevin Magnussen is out, and the official safety car is out. Okay, this can actually affect our race. This is actually the lap that we're supposed to pit, I think. But we dive it down into the pits, maybe to gain an advantage. And maybe gain some positions with this virtual safety car. Williams are known for their quick stops, and we're getting held up. We got held up there by Grosjean. I think that was Grosjean. I'm not sure, he actually gained a position while entering the pits. So I don't know about that, but pretty slow pit stop from Williams there. I usually, get 2.3 second pit stops from them, but we dive it down the inside, tried to do so, almost touched there, decided to brake earlier, didn't want us to collide, but dive it down the inside now, lap 7, very rash move. We actually chip off a bit of our front wing, and we finally got him. I was actually really angry that he did not let us through, and we were getting held up, but continuing on now, still lap 7, Daniel Ricciardo has retired of the race. The home man has retired once again. So in real life he was retired in 2017, and now in 2018 he has retired once again. But dive it down the inside now of Perez there. It's the same move we made on Ocon, this time with his teammate, but we're gonna have the DRS now. Slipstream, look at how much we're gaining on him. Same Mercedes engine, but our slipstream is just too good. We actually went for a dive down the inside there and got him pretty easily. Lap 13 now. Really nothing happened now.
This is your final lap.
We
Final
are
lap of the race.
P5 because Palmer pitted. And yeah, lap 15 now. Someone has retired. There's yellow flags. And oh no, Felipe Massa is out.
Is 18.1
Oh
seconds.
no, our teammate was doing pretty good in the points has retired. I'm not gonna lie, I actually tried to use flashback so that he won't retire, but it did not work. Oh no, Felipe Massa. He was in like P8, so we could have easily got very decent points, and to retire in the last lap is pretty bad, but
Keep up all
we're
your
gonna
hard
come
work
up the
out there.
line
That was a strong drive and a
in
good finish.
P5. What an incredible debut.
Well, that might not have been the finest race in history, but there's no question it was a critical win. Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
Without a doubt, the safety car changed everything today. The key to their success was keeping calm and reacting to the situation quickly. We've seen teams in the past throw away wins because they were too hesitant, but here they were decisive, and that's allowed them to take the advantage.
And here are our podium drivers today after that excellent race. They've excelled here, as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Mercedes, then, are on top today. And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. Lewis Hamilton takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after an excellent result. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Well, my driver of the day was Nico Hulkenberg. He did a cracking job moving through the field and just highlighting why he's so highly rated in the paddock.
And now let's take a look at the constructors' standings. Mercedes moved to the top of the table. After all that excitement, it's time for a lie down, I think. Thanks for joining us, and goodbye until the next race.
So P5 for the Australian Grand Prix. We're currently standing P3 in the constructors. Obviously it doesn't matter too much because it's gonna change a lot in the course of a season, but what I'm really angry about is Felipe Massa's retirement. It obviously isn't his fault, but well, I'm happy that it didn't happen to me, but we could have got much better points if it wasn't for that. But as you can see, we have a challenge now, but we're gonna leave it for next time because this video is getting a bit long and I don't want you guys to get a bit bored. But after the race I decided to go and upgrade the car. I only had about over 500 resource points, just above 500 resource points, and I decided to upgrade the MG UK. As we use a lot of rich mix, it's gonna get worn out, and I really don't know, because I should upgrade the reliability when I'm going long term with a team. If you did enjoy this video, guys, please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.